Buenos días. This is video lesson 26. Before you continue, make sure you have done your homework for lesson 25. Here it's on the screen, and you also have it on our homework document, Google document. And then if you have done that, continue here with classwork on page 69, exercise A. And that one is a review for sections 1.1 to 2.12, okay? So you can do this on your own. Just read oh my gosh, I can say that word. The statements there and write true if it's true. If it's false, it says change the underlined letter or word or phrase to make the statement true, okay? Go back to those section units to those sections if you need help, if you don't remember whether those statements are true or false, okay? So once you complete that, the next thing we're gonna do today is to spend 3 to 5 minutes memorizing the Bible verse that we are learning for Unit 2. By this lesson, you should know it, okay? You should pretty much know the whole thing. So please spend a few minutes there. Then once you're done, so pause the video here, do that, and then come back here. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna spend 5 minutes reviewing your vocabulary words, okay? You can make your own flashcards, you can write them down a few times. You have there on your workbook a page with images there that can help you point to the words that you are recognizing in there. That's on the next page after the list of list B, 2B, no, 2A and 2B, okay? For vocabulary words. Spend again 5 minutes doing that, and by now you should also know them. Okay, you should also know how they're spelled and what they mean, okay? Now, once you complete that, come back here, and what you are going to do next is you're gonna practice this exercise, okay? So this is how this is gonna work. This is to practice cuántos hay, which if you remember is how many are there, okay? So you're gonna ask the question and answer it, okay? Using complete sentences and the correct gender and number meaning if it's singular or plural agreement, okay? So you're gonna do this for each of these words here in this list. You're gonna ask a question, and the question will be ¿cuántos? So let's do the first one. ¿Cuántos bolígrafos? That's the first word here on the list. ¿Cuántos bolígrafos hay en el salón de clase? What am I saying here? ¿Cuántos bolígrafos hay en el salón de clase? So, ¿cuántos means how many? Bolígrafos, you should know this one. This is one of your vocabulary words. If I'm not mistaken, from the first list that we learned. That's pens, right? So how many pens? I means are there in the classroom? How many pens are there in the classroom? So you're gonna ask the question, ¿cuántos bolígrafos hay en el salón de clase? And then you're gonna say the answer. The answer to the question you start with, like you would in English. There are, right? So there are is also I. So you say I. In this case, we're gonna use the word muchos, many, okay? Many. Hay muchos bolígrafos en el salón de clase. So you're gonna do this for each of for each of the words there in the list. ¿Cuántos bolígrafos hay en el salón de clase? Hay muchos bolígrafos en el salón de clase. Then you do it for the next word. ¿Cuántos cuadernos hay en el salón de clase? Hay muchos cuadernos en el salón de clase. Okay, and so forth. So do that and then continue here for the lesson. So we're going to be learning today section 2.12, and that's on page 65 in your workbook. Okay, so, oops. Okay, how do I, okay, hide list. Okay. So what we're learning about pronouns, okay? Pronombres, okay? Subject pronouns, pronombres del sujeto. So in Spanish, as in English too, pronouns take the place of nouns. So for example, in your book you have Amy cleans. You will change the subject Amy for the pronoun, and you can also say she cleans, correct? So the same in Spanish. You can change the subject for the pronoun, okay? And here is a table of the pronouns. In Spanish, you might recognize some of these. So for the first person, I, right? In singular is yo, yo. Repeat after me, yo, yo. Then if it's plural, a group of people, including yourself, it's nosotros, say nosotros. If it's a masculine group or a mixed group, okay? And if it's only females, you say nosotras, nosotras, and that will include you, okay? That's first person. Now, second person, person spoken to. You have in the singular tú, which is you, and usted, which is also you, but then usted will be used in a formal setting. We won't be really using usted that much. Tú is more common, but this is you should know this. So tú and usted both mean you. Tú for informal and usted for formal. Now, in the plural, we have vosotros. Repeat after me, vosotros. This is for an informal masculine or mixed group. Vosotras, you also, informal feminine group. And then ustedes, you formal. At the end of page 65, you have a little note there that you can read it, but it basically says that vosotros, besides Spain, I don't think any other countries use vosotros, okay? Countries that speak Spanish. Usted is the one we use for formal and informal settings when we want to talk about, in the second person plural. So I don't think we're going to really do much with vosotros. This is just here for you to know. But usually what is used is ustedes, okay? Ustedes for that plural second person. The third person spoken about is él o ella. Él, say él, is he, and ella is she. And you have the plural there, ellos, they, the same. Ellos will be masculine or mixed group, and ellas, feminine groups, okay? In Spanish, we don't really have the pronoun it, we don't really have that one. And you have it there on that page 65 there. It talks about it, that there is no direct translation in Spanish for the English subject pronoun it. In Spanish, however, the subject pronoun, it is understood in the verb conjugation when the I can say that word, but when that word that precedes it is previously stated. So for example, el carro es rojo. If we say es rojo because of that verb conjugation, then we're going to see this later, you can already assume that it's talking about the object, okay? Okay, so let's continue over here. So don't worry too much about that. We'll learn about verb conjugations later. So this is the example I was telling you earlier. Amy limpia. So Amy is she. So ella limpia. Okay. And this is what I just told you. Okay. So let me see. Yep, this is what I just said. Okay. Now, this is the same table you have there. You should memorize this table, learn all the pronouns, yo, tú, usted, él, ella, And then for the plural, nosotros, nosotras, ustedes, ellos, ellas. Here are some exercises that we can do to practice this. It says give the correct subject pronouns. Okay, so this is canta, which is sing. So which one will be here? I'm not sure how you're supposed to recognize this. I remember last year we learned that if the verb ended in O, remember? If it ended in O, it means yo, like you did it, right? Like it's the first person singular, I. And then if it ended in mos, you knew it was nosotros, okay? And if it ended in s, you knew it was tú. But in this case, we haven't gone over that, and they already given us this exercise here. So let's just give it a try and see how it goes. So canta, it's ella, él o ella canta. So will be used for that third person. Now participo, participate ends in O, so this is singular first person, yo participo. Estudiamos ends in mos, so we know it's plural, first person, so nosotros estudiamos. Hablas ends in es, so we know that is tú hablas. Enseña ends in a, so it's either él o ella, or usted, actually. All of those have the same ending. It could be él enseña, ella enseña, usted enseña. Usáis, vosotros usáis, we won't really be learning this. And then tocan and ends in N, so this is ellos tocan. I think we should probably review the ending of the verse before going over that, but I don't know what they did it like that. I just wanted to show you that to see, but if it's confusing, don't worry about it. We'll continue to learn and how to identify the pronouns according to the verb endings that you have there. So now we're gonna do pages 66 and 67, exercises A through C. So in exercise A, you have to complete the table there. And then exercise B, just write the correct subject pronoun in English in the left column, and then in the right column, you write it in Spanish. And then for C, you write the correct answer, okay? Go back to the sections if you need to review some of them, if you don't remember some of these answers, okay? Okay, so that was it for lesson 26. Write down if you have any questions, okay? Adios.